Fod, eager to explore further, pushed open another door. This time, it led them down an even darker, more narrow staircase that seemed to descend further into the bowels of the house. The stairs were tight and narrow, and with every step, they could feel the temperature drop. There was something wrong about this place, something they couldn't shake. When they reached the bottom of the stairs, the air became so cold it felt as if they were suffocating. The smell of mold and rot filled the air, and the walls seemed to close in on them. They could hear faint sounds, the creaking of the house, a distant scratching, like nails against wood. It felt as if something, or someone, was watching them from just beyond their vision. Then they heard it, whispers, faint at first, but growing louder. The whispers seemed to come from the walls themselves. "You will never leave," the voices whispered, sending chills down their spines. Suddenly, a figure appeared in the corner of the basement. It was tall, too tall, its shape distorted and unnatural. Its eyes gleamed in the dark, glowing an eerie yellow-green. The figure moved slowly, deliberately toward them, and as it did, the temperature around them dropped even further, the air becoming frigid. Fod, thinking it was just a trick of the light, took a step toward the figure. But when he reached out to touch it, a cold, invisible hand grabbed his arm. A cold voice hissed in his ear, "You will never escape." The group tried to move, but the air around them felt like a thick wall. It was suffocating. They felt as though the walls were pressing in on them, and the house itself seemed to close in around them, trapping them in its dark grip. Miriam, panicking, screamed as she felt something wrap around her legs, pulling her back. She tried to break free, but it was as though she was being held by an invisible force. Her breathing became shallow, and the cold was unbearable. She turned to Fod and Nader, but they were no longer there. The darkness had consumed them, and in that moment, she knew they weren't going to escape. Then, from the corner of her eye, she saw it, a tall, shadowy figure standing in the doorway, its face an expressionless void. The figure's eyes glowed eerily in the dark, and its grin stretched unnaturally wide, showing rows of sharp teeth. It was moving toward her, its steps slow and deliberate. Miriam screamed and ran toward the exit, but as she did, she felt an invisible force pulling her back, holding her in place. She turned, and the shadow was closer, its presence overwhelming. It was coming for her. With every ounce of strength left, Miriam pushed against the door, and as it swung open, she stumbled outside into the night air. But the shadow was still there, lurking in the darkness behind her, its cold presence watching her every move. She and the others ran through the village, not daring to look back. When they reached the edge of the village, they finally stopped, breathless. The house loomed behind them in the distance, shrouded in darkness. They didn't speak. They didn't need to. They all knew that the house was alive, that it was still watching, waiting for the next person to dare enter. No one in the village ever went near that house again. And though the darkness seemed to swallow the house whole, the villagers knew the truth: the jinn never leave. They remain in the shadows, always waiting, always watching, for the next soul to step into their realm.